What's up, everybody? Hello, hello. We're gonna do a little live stream here because there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the markets, and I want to talk about it and talk about what I'm seeing on these charts. So, if you haven't been following what's happening in the world stage right now, just in the last 24 hours or so, there's been missiles flying between the country of Iran and Israel. And they're shooting missiles at each other today. It's been a lot of bombings of Israel. I believe Israel attacked Iran yesterday, and everybody's seen the effects that that has had on the market. We've seen massive drops across the board. Let's pop up some charts here so I can show you guys a little bit about what's going on. So here we're looking at just Solana. Solana since yesterday has dropped from 160, came all the way down to 140. It's recovered a little bit, but it's printing a very bearish bear flag pattern over here. And if this breaks down to the downside, and the reason I don't think this is really a recovery here is because we got a lot of low volume trying to recover, and you got an upward channel, which is usually pretty bearish. I don't think this is going to recover up. I think we might have a breakdown. Next level below that is 136, and then we'll see where we go from there. Bitcoin is surprisingly holding pretty strong, still above 100K, even with the the nukes flying. They're not nukes yet; they're just ballistic missiles, but it's still holding at around 105 right now. Came all the way down to 102 and some change yesterday. ETH is looking a lot like Solana, same thing, big bear flag. Let me just paint it here for you so you can see it as well. Big bear flag on ETH. Boom, boom. There you go. So again, I don't know what we're going to see on ETH here, but it's not looking too good. BNB still holding strong in the mid 600s. BNB and Bitcoin are very much alike. They, because they're like the main utilities of crypto, they hold it up pretty strong here. Then we got the alts. The alts are getting crushed. AVAX is down bad. Let's look how down AVAX is right now. Just in the last day and a half here, we're down. At the moment, it's down only about 16%, but at the bottom it was down 18% in just the last 2 days. Same with Chainlink. Big crash on there as well. Same with Near. Everything else is getting kind of crushed at the moment. And then the super low cap alts like Optimism, I mean, the Op's sitting at the lowest it's ever been in its history right now, other than like when it first launched. This is the lowest it's ever been with volume. So it's been dumping with a lot of volume recently. Yeah, this thing's crazy. Yep, Near, same thing. Arbitrum, same thing. Everything's kind of going nuts to the downside. Now memes, I'm curious as to what the memes are doing. Let's look at some of the memes here. So we got Shib. Shib has had a pretty rough month. In the last month, in the last 31 days, Shib has come down 35%. That's a pretty big crash. We got Doge, the other main meme. Doge in the last, basically the last 3 weeks has come down about 20% or 30%, sorry, 33%. At the moment, it's down 30% from its local high just about a month ago. So the memes are not doing too hot right now. Memes are kind of struggling. Let's look at Floki. I think Floki's just under 900 mil. Could be lower. It's under 800 mil now. It's at 770. Floki's come down pretty bad as well. Now, there are some new memes that have been popping up that have done really well. Yes, Floki's down 35%, same as Shib. There have been some new memes that have done really well recently that have been on the climb. So we have Void. Void has done pretty well. This launched a few days ago. I ended up getting into this around 300K. I took profits yesterday at around 3 mil. Now it's sitting around 4 mil. This one's done really well. There has been a few old memes that have come back with a vengeance. Aura, I think, has been taking up most of the attention recently. This meme, let's look at market cap instead of price. So this meme is old. This thing is from over a year ago, from May of 2024. And it reached a peak of 70 mil, came down 99%, all the way down to around 700, 600K or so. Bottom, I think, was right here around 560. And then up until, literally up until the 9th, which was 4 days ago, this was at around 800K. It pumped up a little bit to 2 mil, came down 800K, and then just sat there. And then the next day, it literally goes to 50 mil, then 90 mil, then 200 mil, and at the moment, it's sitting around 150. And I've seen this now happen with a lot of old memes. So it happened with Aura. It's happened with Useless, which is, again, another old meme. Not super old. This one's about a few months, I think a month old. Yeah. This one's a month old. This one came up to about 41 mil, crashed down to about 5 mil, again, down about 90%, and then pumped. Literally just this morning, we hit a high of 82 million. So got a massive, 16x pump there. I think what the ideal strategy is now is if you can find some massive runners from the last few, from the last few months to the last year or so that have done 50 mil or more. I would say anything above like 30 mil. If it's hit at least 30 mil once and it wasn't an event-based pump, meaning it wasn't centered around like the election or some random, current event happening in the world, and it's more of a timeless thing, and it's hit that massive peak at least once, and now it's down 95, 99% or so, buying little bags of those things here and there should do really well. Because that seems to be the current meta is super old memes that were once dead, that were once very high but then died, are coming back with a vengeance. And it goes back to the posts that I've made in the past, which is, you want to buy dead shit. Buy dead memes that, that are down 90% plus, because there will come a time when they come back, especially if they are a timeless sort of meme. I'm just scrolling through all these trending ones here. Chill House, this is another old one that was in a dump, 800K. Now it's up at 12, 13 mil. Beautiful. This thing went from a 10 mil peak to under 1 million, again, down 90%. And now it's at 12 mil. And it just combines two other memes, that house coin and chill guy into Chill House. Let's see, anything else up here? Billy. Man, I haven't seen Billy on the trending page in a long time. This is an oldie. So this is a great example, right? Billy is an old coin that was at once at 225 million. So it was once very, very high, and it came crashing all the way down to its bottom right here of around 1 point something mil. 220 million down to 1.7 mil, that's down 99%. Now it's pumping. Now it's up at 6 mil plus, and has been pumping for the last month basically. Coins like this, and right now you're getting a pump with volume, so it's starting to recover with some volume, big volume today. My God, 3.7 million in volume just today, and it's at 6.2 mil market cap. Things like this. Like, I'll keep an eye on Billy for now, because Billy's doing, I think Billy might end up running back up to 100 mil plus. Sigma had a big run recently. Looks like it's come down a little bit. Yeah, Sigma was recovering from a 7 mil bottom. Yesterday hit about 40 mil. Now it's down to 24 mil. The only thing curious about these old coins is you don't know how far they're going to run or how high they're going to go. But because there aren't that many good new memes coming out, a lot of these old memes are the ones that are running. Oil, same thing. This thing I saw, this was an old dead coin. 500K now. I was looking at this a little earlier. This thing was down at 30K, and then just randomly today, pumps to 500K, pumped up to a million earlier when I looked at it. But again, old memes, right? Old memes, just running super hard. Let's go back to the main market here really quick as well. Now there are a few Telegram groups that are doing a good job of updating on the current happenings of the war. Let me see if I can open that right here. Maybe I can bring that into the screen here. So there's this the Middle East Spectator. This one right here. Let me move my camera so you guys can see. So these guys have been updating, you know, by the minute, what's happening right now. In the war. Wow. U.S. is trying to convince Iran to return to nuclear talks. Iran has replied, there's no question of talks, and the war has already begun. Crazy. Netanyahu calls upon Iranians to rise up against the government. The Israeli opening strikes were clearly effective and well executed, but I wonder if they planned for the rest. Okay. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so these guys have been posting the video content and any footage that they've been able to find or that they've received from the zones where the battle's happening at the moment. But these are crazy times, man. These are absolutely crazy times. I mean, we're living in the middle of a crypto bull run, right? Bitcoin's over 100K. A lot of things have run. A lot of things haven't run yet. There's a lot of altcoins that have not even come close to having their run this bull. So I don't think we're anywhere near alt season properly. I think we're still in Bitcoin season at the moment. But in the middle of this bull run, we have massive tariff and trade talks and trade negotiations happening, which are causing crazy swings in the market. We have Fed refusing to cut rates, which is again, people are expecting them to not cut rates at the moment, but that's been having a big negative effect as well on the markets and preventing a lot of things from running. So you got massive trade deals and trade negotiations and tariffs and stuff. Fed rates not coming down, or people speculating on what Fed rates might do. You have a war between Ukraine and Russia. You have a war now between Iran and Israel. Basically, that whole section of the world is on fire at this moment. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And we've had, just in crypto alone, right? Let's just look at Solana. Just in crypto, we've had an insane amount of flushes in the last, basically since December. Since December, I would say even, since about December, the amount of like multi-day, or single day sometimes, 10% plus drops on these, massive projects, not even on alts or memes, but on things like Solana and ETH and some of the majors has been absolutely crazy. Just looking at these, like these massive dumps right here that have happened all in like a few days. These are daily candles. So in like 2-3 days, price crashing from 220 to 180, and then pumping to 290. And then since then, from 298 all the way down to 90, 94, like that's crazy. That's absolutely massive. 1 day pump all the way from 140 to 180 and then crashed all the way back down to 140 the next day. Crazy. And now we have this 3-day dump at the moment with this war news from 168 all the way down to 140. Right after we had this flush over here from 150 to 140 and this flush right here from 178 to 150. Multiple $20 plus drops on a coin that is only whose price is only 150 bucks. A $20 drop is 10%, over 10%. You're looking at a 13% drop or more, just on those dumps. It's crazy. I think, watching James Wynn get liquidated had a massive impact on the market and on people's attitudes towards leverage trading. Because you had a guy longing with 40x leverage during a time of high volatility and uncertainty. It's just not a good move. I mean, this guy went from, I think it was like $500,000 to almost $100 million to 96 million, I think was the peak value of his account, and then back down to zero. Wiped out 9 figures worth of gains by just not dialing down his risk. And it was very entertaining for everybody to watch. But I mean, that's a hard thing to try to overcome, that kind of a drop. I think in this market, you got to be unemotional. You have to keep your eyes open to more than just what the chart data is telling you, because there's so much news uncertainty out there. There's so many news events that could happen. And with the current administration that the U.S. has, and the current administrations that a lot of these other very volatile countries have in their relations with each other, we're living in weird times. Very, very weird times. I mean, just the fight between Trump and Elon last week dropped Solana from 155 to 140, and dropped Bitcoin to almost under 100 grand. I mean, that was wild. This was Bitcoin right when that happened. Went from 106 to 100.3. Absolutely crazy. And then ripped right back up to 110, and then crashed right back down to 102. Like, not for the weak stomach at all. Not for the weak stomach at all. Sorry, I wasn't sharing my screen. But yeah, you look at like Bitcoin, you had this massive drop right here from 105 to 100K, ripped to 110, then dumped again to 102. That's not normal for a $1 trillion asset. That's absolutely crazy. For a $2 trillion asset, a $2 trillion asset to drop like that. That's absolutely wild. I mean, Bitcoin's trading like it's a penny stock right now. Yeah, my advice is find some old memes, find anything that's had some big runs, especially if it was the main runner of a narrative or the secondary runner of a narrative, and it's come down quite a bit. Ideally, if you can find it under 100K, or under $1 million, like in the few hundred thousands market cap, scoop up tiny bags of those coins. And that's been a winning strategy for a long time. You just scoop up bags of those coins, create a wallet, fund it with like, I don't know, a few Solana in there, and label it dead memes, and just put all those memes in there, buy little bags of each one, and when they come back, they'll do, sometimes 10, sometimes 100x, sometimes multiple 100x's. Aura has done a 300x from its bottom. So it's a good strategy. Dead memes are always a good place to go, because we've been rotating quite a bit this cycle. A lot of rotations. I think I'm going to buy a bag of Billy here. Billy seems to be like running a little bit here. Let's see, are there any big buys? Looks like there was a lot of big sells in the last 4 hours. Hold on, let's look at $10,000 plus buys. Yeah, so there's a lot of sells, a lot of people selling, taking profit around this 6 mil, 7 mil range. People buying as well. A lot of big transactions in the last 24 hours. Mostly in the last 24 hours. Because you see it goes from like 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 10 hours, 19, 21, and then 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 6 day, 10 day. Like there's very few big transactions in the past. Most of them have happened very recently. But it's stuff like this. Like it's not massively trending yet. It could run back to massive heights, but at the moment, not much is going on. Global money supply. What is this? This thing's trending number one. Interesting. 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 This thing's running. Looks like this is a pump fund launch on Pump Swap as well. Good liquidity on here. Let's throw the VWAP on this chart, see what it looks like. So it's way above the VWAP at the moment, about double the VWAP price. It's not at the point yet where it would retrace to the line, but eventually everything comes back down to the line. There's coins that ran super hard recently. Let me find it. Like we got, coins like Mixie. Mixie went way above the line, hung out there for way too long, and eventually retraced back down to it. Well, let's look at this thing. So you had from the top point, right? You want to measure that candle from the line to the top point. Obviously, it's going to be like 300%, almost 300%. Like this thing ran like crazy, 297% from the VWAP line all the way to the peak. 150 and above is usually where we look at things coming down. Now, if there's like announcements and things, or other catalysts that can cause the coin to, run even higher than 150% above the line. But once it gets above 150%, that's when you want to start looking into taking profits. I believe the first run up above 150% was right around here. Let me measure that. Yeah, that was like 250. And then right after that, you had a retrace of about 50%. So you had this massive run up and then a big retrace of about 47%. And then it ran again. From that 47% dip, it ran again. But yeah. So let's look back at M2. M2, it could retrace here. I don't know. It's still got volume. It's got rising volume on these candles, these 5-minute candles. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, it's still looking good. The 1 minute is showing, yeah, just small little corrections here and there. Correction. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done doing its run here. Let's look at the trending. Let's look at 5-minute movers here. Neo. A lot of these old tiny cats are coming back as well. That's another thing I've noticed. Neo, this one, this one's dumped. It's trying to recover. It's at 17K market cap. But yeah, ever since Void started running, there's been a lot of these little animals that have been doing well again. I forget what the name of that one that was super old was. Was it Michi? Where's Michi? I wonder how Michi's doing. Michi's still at 20 mil. So like this used to be a top runner, right? Anybody remember Michi? This thing was at 300 mil. It's now at 18.7. So you got a coin here that's down about 95%. 94% or so. Let's throw this on here, so we have it as a bookmark. From that most recent peak to down, 94.5%, about 95, and really had come down a little bit lower than that. It came down 97% at its bottom, 9 mil. So it's doubled from its very bottom of 9 mil. Could be another one that runs, right? Once it regains enough attention, this one could run as well. I'd probably grab a little bag of Michi as well. I think a good habit to get into would be to make a list of all the memes that have ever hit 50 mil plus. this cycle. Make a list of all those things. We could technically make that list now on Live Coin Watch. So let's do this. Categories. Let's go to memes. Right. Let's go to filters. Property. All-time high. At least 50 mil. Okay. And then 2 all-time high. At least, we'll call it 1,000%. So things that are down at least 90%. Apply. Okay. So now you got all these coins. This is a very short list. So the one thing I don't like about Live Coin Watch is it doesn't have all the memes. It doesn't have all the coins that are existing out there. It just has the ones that make it onto this platform, right? But on here, you know, we have like all these things were at all-time highs of very, very high, and now super low. The other thing that's an issue on here is sometimes you get bugged data. So like, let's look at like Smell Token and XOR, these ones that have massive all-time highs. It got bugged data back here that made it seem like the price was $1,600 something, right? Like it's clearly giving bad data there. Let's see, same thing here, yeah, same thing here. So there was a day, August 2023, or August 7th, 2023, that bugged out the data. Here it's saying this price was $71 at one point. It was not, with a volume of $1.5. Like this, clearly that didn't happen. So you gotta be a little careful. Let's add in another all-time high filter so we can maybe eliminate some of those scammy ones. Where's the all-time high? All-time high at most 100 mil. Or here, let's go at most 200 mil. Yeah, so we don't. It's not populating it properly. You gotta kind of know the memes yourself already. Like the fact that Michi isn't on that list is crazy. But getting good data is hard. You know, getting good data in crypto is very hard, very difficult to do. Let's close these out. So you got Michi. Aura has already done its run, obviously. Let's look at old aged coins here. Lock-in's kind of old. Market cap's at 13 mil. Nubcat's super old, 7 mil market cap. Shark Cat. Hobbs has made a bit of a recovery today. I saw that. World War III, now that we're on the brink of it, also doing a bit of a recovery, you know? Also doing a bit of a recovery from its peak of 5 mil. Now it's up to 690, because we might actually end up in World War III. But let's look at Nubcat here. Nubcat had a peak of almost 200 million. It's currently at 7 mil. Recovering from its bottom of 2.5 mil. Like, my God. Shark Cat, same thing. Had a peak of fucking almost 400 mil. Shark Cat ripped. Came all the way down from 400 mil to almost under 1 million. Like, that is a drop. That is a massive drop. You know, you're talking like 4 mil would be a 99% down. You know, 4 mil would be 99% down. This was down at 1 mil. This is 99.75% down. This is huge. And now it's at 10 mil today. You know, crazy. Just a few days ago it was at 2 million. Last week. This time last week, last Friday, it was 2 million. Now it's 10 million, and it hit 20 mil today at some point. It's retracing from it hitting 20 mil. This is the meta, guys. This is the meta right now. Find old memes that are down 90% plus and get them. Get them before the rest of the cabal finds out. Hobbs, Ansem's cat, had a peak of 120 something million. It's now 500K. It's gaining some traction. It was at 100K just earlier. And today it's been running. You know, it's still under a mil. This is crazy. There's lots of opportunities. I don't have any of these bags, so I don't really care if you get them or not. But I'm just trying to show you what's happening out there. You know, lock-in was at a peak of 116 million. It's now 13 million. It was down at 5 million or 4 million. Sorry, 4 million at the bottom. Lin Gang, this one was interesting. I saw this one. This one launched recently. Has been printing very bullish patterns. I've had this on my tabs here for a bit. Not sure what it is, but looks good. Mini, man. So many of these old memes doing crazy stuff. Omni, I wonder what Omni's doing here. So Omni is an old meme. Super old meme. Had a peak of 4 mil. 4 mil peak. About 18K was the bottom of this thing. Old meme. And then from 18K, it's now run to about 2 mil. It's down to 400K again. Let's see what happens with it. Sigma's done really well recently. Mob. Oh my God, who remembers Mob? This is actually one of the coins we bought last cycle. Made a massive win on this one. Got a 70x on this thing. Also coming back from 20K, now 100K and climbing. Who knows? Maybe this thing runs. It's retraced, but it's basically all these old memes have been running recently. I might get a bag of Mob, actually. Mob is interesting. Fwog, you know. Crocs in sport mode. A lot of old memes, man. Old memes. Going absolutely crazy. 35 mil peak. Literally died. Went to nothing. Went to 100K. From 35 mil. Had a bottom of 100K. And today it hit 7 mil. Find old memes. Find old memes. Find the ones that they haven't rotated into yet. You know? Find the ones that they have not rotated into. You'll see the top performers are old things. The top performers on the daily are either brand new, right, like M2, that's been running, and it's brand new stuff and stuff that's like 5 months old or more. Yeah. Top performers on the day, 4 months old, 10 months old, 11 months old, 4 months old, 11 months old, 30 days old. You know? Crazy. 29 days old. Top performers on the day right now. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, that's the meta right now. Old memes. Old memes. Let's see what's running in the last 5 minutes here. Majestic Fart Bean. Okay. I don't know what that is, but okay. It dumped. Lin Gang. Still doing real well. Type shit. You know, I got a friend who says this all the time. It's good stuff. We got some crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff happening in the market right now. My God, I still can't believe like this is where we're at right now in the world. Is all these markets that should be in a very bullish sentiment are flipping back and forth between bullish and bearish just because everybody wants to fight in the world. All the countries want to fight each other. You know, we got trade wars and actual wars happening all over the place. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's do a little trenching here. Let's see what we can find. Let's see if we can find anything good. I wonder how Hosico is doing. Hosico is doing. It's down from 60 mil peak, came all the way down to almost 6 mil, came down to 8 mil. That's about 85% down, And now it's recovering. Now it's recovering. 79th? What does that mean? Oh, it's his birthday. Okay. So this would be something like if it once this day is over, I wouldn't buy this, you know? Cuz this is an event-based meme, you know? Interestingly enough, it's my dad's birthday too today. So, got to hang out with him a little bit there. Man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Quarry the Palm. This one's old. I remember this one. This one came out a while ago. A month ago. Interesting. All right. Let's see how we're doing. I haven't even checked X and how we're doing on X. Let's see here. All right. Do we have any comments? Cool, cool, cool. We're all good. Awesome. All right. So, just looking at what's out there at the moment, we got some old dead memes that are coming back. If you can find them, the ones that haven't run yet, get yourself a bag before the cabal does. And understand that that's the meta we're in at the moment, is old dead memes that had already reached 50 mil plus are coming back with a vengeance at this moment. I think I'm gonna get a bag of bag of Mob, Omni. Yeah, I don't know about Lock In. Definitely Nub. Shark Cat, I think, could maybe go back to 20 mil. Maybe run really hard. Hobbs. Hobbs, maybe. Hobbs, maybe. This one's a gamble. If it can regain the attention of Ansem, maybe. And then same thing with Michi. Probably get a bag of Michi as well. And then just see what happens. You know, grab little bags of each thing. You know, there's a few coins actually that I want to look at from. Do I have them saved up here? No, I do not. Okay. Let's look at public, because this was the public.fund one. Oh, it looks like this one rugged. So this launched a few days ago. I ended up getting in right at the beginning and made a nice little bag there. Got in right around here. Had a nice little run. Made a little bit of money there on this one. I don't know. This one, they have a website and everything. And a good domain. But the only way to get access is to tweet this thing, and I'm not going to tweet it. So. Oh. And then we had Void. Where's Void at? Void should be trending. Void could do well. There's also Shadow, which is Shadow Dark Aura. This one dumped. This one I got a nice win on as well. What was it? Public and Void both kind of, or Shadow both did the same thing where they pumped, dumped, and then pumped again even higher. And then since then, this one is just dumped. And then I believe there was a few more as well that we were looking at back then. Let's see if we can look at the trending. What's trending now? What's new? People. Let's look at people. People coin. So it's bonded, came down, then ran. You know, one thing I've wondered is what is the ratio of coins that come down after bonding before they run versus others that just bond and then keep running. Like this one bonded, right? It bonded and then kept running. But this looks botted. This looks like it's a fake coin. 5,000 holders. I don't even know. Missile, Ultimate Negotiator. This volume looks pretty botted, and this chart doesn't look that organic. Let's get oil here. Well, this looks a little bit more organic. See, like this one bonded, came down to 38 and then ran. Monitoring the situation. Monitor. Okay. See, these are like, this one is event based. This one's event based. You know, missile is event based. All these will die very quickly. They're not going to last very long. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any new news of the. Oh my God. This is crazy. So it says, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, following the initial announcement regarding the successful implementation of Operation True Promise 3 against the strategic positions of the Zionist regime, we hereby inform the honorable people of Iran and the free people of the world of the details of this operation. Blah, 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 in this operation. Okay, yeah, they're just talking about attacking strategic points in Israel. Okay. Wow. This is crazy. This is Tel Aviv right now. Wow. Oh my God, absolutely destroyed. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, this is something else, man. Got to be careful out there. Got to be careful out there. Especially with all this news flying around. All right. Well, we'll call it here. Let's do one last look at the markets, see how they're doing. Again, still nothing for certain as far as recovery goes. Solana's still in this, trend right here. BNB looking strong. ETH, the same thing as Solana. So I would keep an eye on ETH. If ETH breaks above 2,600 with some volume, we could be looking at a good recovery. If Solana breaks above 149, 150, ideally Solana needs to break above 151 with volume to head back up. If not, we're going to 136, and if we break below 136, the next level down is 121. Man, this is wild. What's going on in the world right now is absolutely crazy. All right, folks, we're gonna go ahead and call it here. I will talk to you guys very soon, and we'll update you with anything that happens in the market here as this news develops.